student, and welcome to another session of Computer Science paper 2. So let us proceed. So chapter number 1, Introduction to Microprocessor and Organization of 8085 session 3. So already we have completed session 1 and session 2. So let us revise very fast what we have seen in the first two sessions. So evolution, we have seen what is microprocessor, then we have seen the function of microprocessor, then the evolution of microprocessor, we have seen the 5 generation of microprocessor, then in second session we have seen the pin diagram of 8085, right? We have seen the first 20 pins, how to remember a trick to remember first 20 pins of 8085. Then we have seen 10 pins in detail. They were X1, X2, pin number 1 and pin number 2, reset out pin number 3, SOD, SID, then the trap, then RST 7.5, RST 6.5, RST 5.5 and INTR. So let us proceed for section 3. So we were doing the pin diagram of 8085 microprocessor. We started with the first 20 pins. Okay, out of that we have seen X1, X2, a crystal is connected at X1 and X2. Reset out to reset the microprocessor and intent reset the peripheral devices. SOD serial out data, SID serial input data. The hardware interrupt, very important hardware interrupt. So 5 interrupts trap, RST 7.5, RST 6.5, RST 5.5 and INTR. Students, here the question comes on hardware interrupt, as I said in previous session, but it may be asked as to explain individual hardware interrupt also, like trap explain for 1 mark or INTRA for 1 mark. So we'll see now this hardware interrupts in detail. So these are the hardware. The trap is having the highest priority and INTR is having the lowest priority. Then interrupt acknowledgement, that is bar. Interrupt acknowledgement bar. Bar means it is an active low signal and it is output signal. See, these are input signals, right? Then AD0 to AD7 and then is VSS. Today we are going to see all these pins in detail. So let us start with the hardware interrupt, that is trap. Trap is pin number 6. It is input. So it is the input signal. So this signal is used to interrupt the microprocessor. It has a highest priority. So trap has the highest priority. It is non-maskable. So it is unaffected by any other interrupt, enable or mask. So it is non-maskable interrupt. Then it cannot be disabled. It is both level edge and level trigger. Edge means from 0 to 1, level means either high level, okay, high or low level. So it is both edge or level trigger. Then when the interrupt is recognized, the next instruction is executed from a fixed location in a memory, that is 0024. So once this interrupt is recognized, the control automatically goes to the memory location 0024, right? And the trap is usually used for power failure and emergency shutdown. So it informs the MPU that it is emergency, so trap cannot be maskable and immediately the CPU has to reset it. So it is an input signal, right, to the microprocessor. Clear? The next hardware interrupt is RST 7.5. The reset interrupt. RST is reset interrupt. This signal is used to interrupt the microprocessor. So it is also input signal. It also interrupt the microprocessor. It is a maskable interrupt. You can mask temporarily and then the MPU can attend the interrupt. It has the second highest priorities. So after trap, it has a second highest priority. It is a positive edge triggered only. So it is a positive from 0 to 1, not from 1 to 0. So it is a positive edge triggered only. So by triggering, it remains high. Now the internally flip-flop is triggered by the rising edge, that is from 0 to 1. There is an internal flip-flop which trigger this pin by rising edge. When the interrupt is recognized, the next instruction is executed from a fixed location in a memory, that is the 003C. I told you in previous session, that is a vector address or vector location. It will go to that location once the interrupt is recognized by the microprocessor. Which location it will go? 003C 3ch, and it execute the program. Okay, then they can cause an internal restart to be automatically inserted. So it can cause a restart automatically inserted. So it can restart the CPU. Clear? So that is nothing but RST 7.5. So next interrupt is RST 6.5. The reset interrupt signal is used to interrupt the microprocessor, that is at pin number 8. Again, it is a input signal. It is input to the MPU, where now it is also maskable interrupt. It has the third highest priority. After 7.5, it has the third highest priorities. It is a level triggered only, means it should be 1 or 0. So it is a level triggered trigger. So by level triggering, you can make this high. Then when when an interrupt is recognized, the next instruction is executed from a fixed vector location, that is 0034. It is maskable interrupt. The cause an internal reset to be automatically inserted. So internal reset can be to be automatically inserted. The pin has to be held high for a specific period of time because it is a level trigger, so it should be kept high for a specific period of time. So it is also input signal, that is pin number 8, that is reset 6.5. Now the next interrupt is RST 5.5 interrupt. This signal is used to interrupt the microprocessor. It is again a maskable interrupt. It has a fourth highest priority. It is also level triggered as your 6.5 interrupt. The pin has to be held high for a specific period of time. Again, when an interrupt is recognized, when this interrupt comes and it is recognized by the microprocessor, the next instruction is to execute from a fixed location in memory. So it transfers the control to memory location 002CH. It is a maskable interrupt. They cause an internal restart to be automatically inserted. So it is also a input pin, that is reset 5.5. It has a fourth highest priority and it is maskable. Okay. The next interrupt is INTR. INTR pin number 10. Pin number 10, that is INTR. It is a maskable interrupt. It has the lowest priority in the hardware interrupts. It is a level triggered only. So it is a level triggered only. When the interrupt signal is given on this line, when the interrupt signal is given on this line, the microprocessor execute the interrupt acknowledgement cycle to read the interrupt information from the interrupting devices. So it does not have the vector location. So what it generates a acknowledgement, the microprocessor generates a acknowledgement, and to know from where the from interrupting device is, to get the information about the interrupting devices. Okay, so when this arises, the program control does not increments its content. So it hold the program control does not increments its content. The INTR is enabled or disabled by software. So this interrupt can be enabled or disabled by software. So INTR pin number 10, that is again a input to the microprocessor. Okay. Now the next pin, INTA bar. So it is having the complement bar. This bar indicate that is it is active low. So when the pin arises at 0 or low signal on this pin, then it is activate or it comes in action. That means active low signal. Okay. So INTA bar is an abbreviation for the interrupt acknowledgement. In the previous pin, we have seen INTR. When this interrupt arises, then the microprocessor sends an INTA interrupt acknowledgement signal to know from where the interrupting devices to come to have the information about the interrupting devices. Okay, so as it receives the interrupt from INTR, it sends a signal acknowledgement that to know from where the interrupt is coming. It is a outgoing signal. It is an active low signal. So when on this pin a low is there, means it is active and it gives the acknowledgement. A low on INTR indicates that the processor has acknowledged the interrupt. Clear? So there are 5 hardware interrupts, and this is the interrupt acknowledgement for INTR. So because others all have a vector location. Clear? So this is nothing but interrupt acknowledgement. So far we have seen X1, X2, reset out, SOD, SID, the hardware interrupt, 5 hardware interrupt and interrupt acknowledgement. Now let us see from pin number 12 to pin number 19, pin number 12, 13, 14, 15. These pins serves a dual purpose of transmitting lower address and data bytes. So it is a dual function. This pins provides a dual function, the address from A0 to A7 and data from D0 to D7 is transmitted and received. Clear? So now when to transmit the address and when to transmit the data is done. How it is done? So because the address is in zeros and ones and data is in zeros and ones. So how the peripheral or how the microprocessor will understand which is data and which is the address. So during first clock cycle, these pins act as a lower half of the address. So first the address for the first clock cycle, the address will be sent, and for the remaining clock pulse the pins acts as a data bus. So for first clock pulse it will send the address, and the remaining clock pulse it will send the data. A separation of lower order address and data is done by a address latch. So once the address is sent, it is latch, and then on the same line the data is sent. So address is been separated from the data by using a latch. So pin number 12 to 19 are bidirectional. See, all are bidirectional. See, address is unidirectional, but on same line the data is also sent. So it is they are bidirectional. See, the arrows are shown on both the sides. So pin number 12 to 19, from 12 to 19 they are bidirectional, AD0 to AD7. They are multiplexed address and data bus. Now AD0 to AD7, that is pin number 12 to 19, bidirectional. So data bus is 8-bit. It is used to transfer the data between microprocessor and memory or peripheral devices. AD0 to AD7, it carries the least significant 8-bit address and data bus, because address bus is 16-bit wide and data bus is 8-bit wide. So it carries the least significant 8-bit address and all the data bus. Data bus is only 8 lines but address is 16 lines. So the lower address are multiplexed with the data. Now the microprocessor 8085 has 8-bit data bus and 16-bit address bus. The least significant 8-bit of address bus are passed on the same line that of the data bus, that is on a single line AD0 to AD7. These lines are bidirectional. They are used for dual purpose for the lower order 8-bit address as well as 8-bit data. This is known as multiplexing, and such bus is known as multiplexed bus. So they already told you they are the multiplexed bus. Two multiplexed means first to select one and then other. First to select one and then the other. To in executing an instruction during earlier part of the cycle, these lines are used to as the lower address bus. During the later part cycle, these lines are used as a data bus. The 8085 has a special signal called ALE, that is address latch enable, for informing the peripheral when the address is sent or data bus is sending address and when it is functioning as the data bus. So if the signal of the pin ALE is high, then the bit AD0 to AD7 are address bit, else they are data bills. So whenever the microprocessor is sending the address or data on this, first it sends the a signal on ALE, that is address latch enable, saying that if that if this pin is high, means it is sending the address, and when ALE is low, means it is sending the data. Clear? So AD0 and AD till AD7 they are multiplexed, but by using the a single line, that is address latch enable ALE control signal. So when there is one on the control signal, it means it will send the address, and when ALE is low, means then the peripheral device will come to know that now it is sending the data. So it is controlled by ALE address latch enable. Now let us see how the address and data are demultiplexed. So multiplex means same. Now we'll separate them. Demultiplex with the address function of 8085 on 40 pin DIP did not have enough pins for all the input and output. So it will not doesn't have the enough pins for input, and for that reason the manufacturer uses pins from 12 to 19 as a dual purpose address and data bus lines, that is AD0 to AD7. The unit is said to have an 8-bit multiplexed address and data bus. The least significant 8-bit address are share the pin with the 8-bit data bus. To multiplex means to first select one and then other. Therefore, to multiplex address and data means first to use the bus to send the address and next to send the data, send or receive data via the same bus. Now this bus, the 8085, has a special signal for informing the peripheral devices that the bus is sending an address and when the bus is functioning as data bus. Clear? So here see there is a latch, right? So the ALU is enabled. So what happens? This address is passed over this latch, and here we get the lower address bus from A0 to A7. When ALU is 0, then the data is passed, bidirectional data. See here both the arrows are shown either from peripheral devices to the microprocessor or from microprocessor to peripheral devices. So the address latch enable plays an important role. So 8085 has a special signal for informing the peripheral when the address data bus is sending on the address and when the bus is functioning as data. The special signal is nothing but address latch enable. Clear? So ALE is high means it is sending the address, and when ALE is low it is sending the data. So by enabling this latch we can send the address, and disabling this latch we can send the data. For higher order address bus there is no problem because they are sent single, they are not multiplexed. During the first cycle, the address is sent and the lower 8 bit are latched into the peripheral by the address latch enable. So they are latched by the address latch enable, and during the rest of the machine cycle, the data bus is used for memory or input output data. So for first machine cycle the address is sent and that is latched, and for the remaining the data is sent. Machine cycle the data is used for memory or IO input output data. Is it clear? So that is nothing but demultiplexing. So here it is multiplexed by using a latch. We have demultiplex address and data bus. So the next pin, that is the 20th pin, pin number 20 VSS, indicate the ground signal. I say that this IC is powered by 5-volt power supply. So power supply has two positive and negative. So ground 0 volt is connected to this VSS. So that is indicate the ground signal, pin number 20 input signal. So we have seen all the pins from 1 to 20, their explanation in detail. See student, sometimes the question either can come as draw the pin diagram of 8085 microprocessor or explain any 3 pins. So they may ask you to explain any 3 pins in detail, 1 mark each. So we have completed the explanation for these 20 pins. Clear? So let us summarize what we have seen in today's session. In today's session, we have seen hardware interrupt in detail, their explanation of each hardware interrupt, that is trap, RST 7.5, RST 6.5, 5.5, INTR, and interrupt acknowledgement, which is a active low signal. Then we have seen the remaining address, that is pin number 12 to 19, that is address and data bus. AD0 to AD7. They are bidirectional and multiplexed. Multiplex means on the same line we are sending the address and data. Then how it is demultiplexed by using a latch and one more signal, that is ALE, that we have seen. And lastly, the last pin was ground pin because the 8085 works on 5-volt. When we have seen the feature, we have seen that it works on plus 5-volt supply. So plus 5-volt and ground. So ground is connected to pin number 20, that is VSS. So student, we came here to the end of the introduction to microprocessor and organization of 8085 session 3. Thank you.